Thank the world for Freddie Prinze Jr., because ever since he started doing his Wrestling with Freddie podcast, he has given us some right doozies when it did come to his time in WWE, when he was one of those there writers. It also allows you to give context to things that have never made sense and are proper 2 + 2 = potato, which is why today, my friends, we are getting in our time machines. We are going back to 2008. We really need to build a better time machine. Now, if you were around at that time, you probably will recognize the name of Hade Vanson, because he was a guy that sounded like he was about to get the golden goose treatment, when from nowhere, it all got taken away. It's like me and my hair. One day you feel great, the next day you're bald. Because despite never appearing on TV when it came to the WWE main roster, at least not physically in the ring, he was actually getting ready for a feud with The Undertaker. I mean, can you imagine? It's basically a dream start for any career too, because even though the dead man is going to wreck you, who the hell cares? I mean, you're going to be featured at the tippity top of the card, so even if you fall a little bit, you could still be going around saying, oh, by the way, I work with The Undertaker. I mean, talk about achieving your dreams after you take that first bump in wrestling training school. As far as I'm concerned, you made it to the top of the mountain. Now, to be fair, this was just meant to be a transitional feud, but meh, who cares about that? It's like when people get mad at someone that gets picked as a transitional world champion. I've never been a transitional world champion. If somebody called me up right now and said, Simon, do you want to do it? Of course I would say yes. I mean, you would piss a lot of people off because they'd be like, who the hell is this guy? Once again, he doesn't even have any hair. But I've never even had one reign, so I totally suck. And yeah, this was just building up to the fact that we were going to do the Undertaker versus Edge throughout the summer. But before that, we needed to have someone that had a little bit of credibility, face the dead man, face the Undertaker, face the Phenom. He could punch them in the face a lot, but at least then he'd have another win. So ultimately, the writers in charge of this decided to have some fun with it. So why don't we go down to FCW, the developmental territory at the time, see if anybody fits this bill, then yeah, throw them into the water and see if they can swim with the sharks. This is when writer Krista Joseph and his partner Freddie Prinze Jr. did come up with a name, because they surveyed the talent. They were like, yeah, let's go with Hade Vanson. Because they had all come together to write a story about an idea of a cult leader going against The Undertaker. And when they saw Hade, they were like, yeah, I think he could play that. He comes across as a little bit spooky-wooky. This then evolved because the concept got even bigger, because we were like, well, Vanson could have a bunch of people around him who also hate The Undertaker, because Hade Vanson can reveal himself as The Undertaker's child. Talk about soap opera wrestling. Now, obviously, nobody in FCW was young enough to pull that off, but that was okay. It's actually even weirder if somebody does say this, and actually, there's not even an element of truth to it. So maybe this person was just obsessed, and there was a deeper level to this as well, because once again, The Undertaker was going to smash this guy, which meant you could take the tag. Oh my gosh, that was meant to be his boy, and he still murked it. I mean, the dad sacrifices their son, even though they weren't really. Sports entertainment. The way we were going to debut this too actually ties into something we were going to see more of in modern wrestling, and one of the reasons why we're talking about it today, because he wasn't just going to turn up on SmackDown. Hade Vanson was going to use his modern technology powers, and he was going to hack into the show. I suppose we were going to do this because it would be a way to show you, oh my gosh, he had powers too, and also he would come across like a bit of a nut job. This is exactly what happened too, because all of a sudden we did have these low quality grainy videos interrupting the blue brand. It was Hade Vanson going, Undertaker, I'm coming to get you. This was because he had anger and love for the man, but also his time was now. They actually said this when John Cena was running around. I'm amazed we allowed that to happen. I also think that one of the reasons we did go after Hade as well is when we heard his original name, because he was going by Hadrian Howard, which is the most stereotypical British name somebody could come up with. And yes, Vanson was from the UK. I mean, if you're American and you don't understand, I get it, but we basically picked a landmark and went, let's turn it into a name. I suppose it worked because it did get everybody's attention, although there was a problem back in 2008. Hade Vanson was not a big dude. And in case you don't know, at that time, the World Wrestling Federation, which was actually called WWE, was essentially the land of the giants. The promos were good enough though, and they got signed off by Michael Hayes, and they even got signed off by Vince McMahon. Because again, this was just going to be the equivalent of a squash. Let's give somebody a chance. It would just be a nice program to do before the Rated R Superstar was good to go. And again, everybody had watched this vignette, and Hade Vanson was actually doing a pretty damn good job. You know the deal as well. After you watch the WWE for a while, you start feeling their beats. When we got this one video, and you could feel it in your Tootsie Toes. Oh my gosh, the big debut is coming. I better tune in. Freddie even tells a story how they got to a Connecticut show and they filmed one more of these backstage, which was essentially live to tape. Once again, Hade absolutely killed it. so the confidence was rising. These are all on YouTube too, by the way. You can search and watch them right now and come up with your own opinion. It's not like they have been hidden away, mostly because, again, I think they're pretty decent. All of this was happening around December 2008 as well, which was perfect timing because it means The Undertaker could whip him before WrestleMania and then get into a program with somebody else when it all stopped. Because one man decided he did have a problem with this, and it won't be a huge surprise that it was Triple H. And during a production meeting when Vince McMahon had gone, hey, is everyone cool with what we are doing? Hunter's hand went up and said, yeah, I have a problem with it. And that is that Hayde Vanson, to me, looks like my gardener. Rest in peace. Triple H also asked the question, why the hell are we going with this guy? And of course, Freddie instantly was worried, because this isn't a pay-per-view match. He's not getting in anybody's way. Why is anybody kicking up a fuss? It also was going to help all sides because The Undertaker would benefit and somebody from FCW would benefit, which probably would have given confidence for the rest of the guys and girls down there. But no. As soon as Triple H had made that gardener joke, Vince McMahon went, ha, 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 ha. And then Kevin Dunn started going, ha, 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 because he has no backbone. When Vince was like, hey, you know what? Kill it. Then it was dead. For all the experience he had built up to, Prince Jr. instantly knew this was the end of everything. And as he described it, you could feel the air being sucked out of the room. This just means it had happened before. And as always, this storyline would vanish from TV, as every single fan, including me, would ask, well, where the flub did it go? Think of all of this as well, though. It was weeks of build that had been cancelled because of 5 minutes of chat. And all because somebody had made a joke. They didn't even debate this. Somebody just made a hardy-ha, and we threw it out the window. I mean, it's a stupid thing to do anyway, but as Freddie Prinze Jr. revealed too, he was the guy that had to go and tell Hayde Vanson. And can you imagine how sad he must have been? I mean, you are so close, you're this close to working with one of the all-time greats, and it gets taken away from you, all because you look like a gardener. What the hell is wrong with that to begin with? Clearly it ended all hopes for Hayde as well, because he got released in January 2009, so a little over a month later, and that one just makes me want to go and, I don't know, shout out the window. I mean, it also means it actually would have been better if this opportunity had never landed in his lap. Unless he was 6'2", at 230 pounds, then he probably would have been fine. So 16 years on, and this is still a crappy thing to do. And actually, when we go to the old era of WWE, something they were basically doing up to 2022. The irony being that Triple H is now in charge, and I don't think he would do this today. But it goes to show, everybody can change. Sometimes they do. I still think it's a real thing to do, though, because you're just messing with people's careers. And ever since then, unless I am wrong, and I hope I am, I don't think we ever saw Hayde Vanson back in a wrestling ring. Damn. Now, of course, if you have any memories of this or any other trivia bits, please drop them in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And then click the video on the screen. We get into more wrestling mysteries. This is like the bad booking series. There are so many of them because for years, WWE would just drop stories like their underwear. More importantly though, thank you very much for joining me as always, and make sure you have a terrific day. I will see you on the next one.